can't do anything.
No, true.
Really. There you go. See, I was playing. Anyway, so let's get
I
our
suppose I
final
could do
guest on
that.
for the
I
evening.
probably could do that this end as well.
Yeah,
Can
you
I?
see, it's
No.
much easier just to control it on your desk than it is to control it on the screen. Because I forget on the screen as well, and it's so easy to forget.
Yeah.
Should we get another guest on? Should we do that?
Good plan.
Let's do it. Here we go. Ching. Good evening.
Howdy, Ben.
Hello, how you doing?
Hey.
Let's get
Very
up close
well.
and personal.
I just made it.
Just made it.
Just made it. You've been there. We've seen you there. You've been there for a couple of minutes.
A couple of minutes, yeah. Cutting it fine.
Welcome to the show,
noticed
Ben.
just briefly, I want to say the boys from Hideaway have said, I want to hear you sing it. I don't think you do, but
No, you don't want to
you might think that now. Anyway. Ben, good to see you, fella. How are you?
And you, yeah, good, not too bad. It's been a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were here at the studio at the Cream Room about a year or so ago, I think. We had a bit of a. Well, we did two things, didn't we? We went through your the Ben Drake Collective album, which had come out. So we did our Big Sound Machine podcast where we go through when we were going through the album. So that was a nice chat. And then we remember those days when more than two of us could gather in one place at a time. We had four of us, I think, just chatting round a table, talking about.
No, I can't remember. I can't remember what that was
business.
like.
Nobody knows what that's like anymore, Martin.
We've all forgotten what that. Did that ever
Days
happen?
before.
Was that real? So and then after that, I think you got stuck in Malta, did you not?
Yeah, I flew out to see my mum and dad, and they shut the airports, and so I couldn't get back. So I was stuck there for about 3 months.
It's not a bad place.
There are worse
to get
places
stuck,
to
is it?
Uh,
get stuck.
Yeah, it was lovely, and as you know, Dad sadly passed away a little while ago. So
Yeah.
it was a blessing, really, to be stuck out there with him, have that time with him.
Yeah, sorry to hear that news as well. But
Thank you.
It's funny, isn't it, how those little blessings come along. I had a similar situation with my dad. They used to go on holiday every year to Spain, and I very rarely went. But I went 2016. This was I went out and spent a little bit of time with them when they were out there, and that was it. That was the last time they ever went because he was diagnosed ill later that summer, and by November he was gone. So it was funny. It is funny how you get those little little luxuries that you can get to appreciate. So
Definitely.
yeah. In fact, so I know we're here to talk about FEARISTS, but very briefly, do you want to talk about the other project you're doing in relation to your dad, actually?
Yeah. So the other project was I've been made an ambassador for the trust. Dad had IPF, and so the PF Trust, I did some stuff and just tagged them in it, and they said, "Would you like to be an ambassador and promote them?" And I had a song that I'd sort of written, and it was about Dad and about losing someone, and I said, "Well, I'd be happy to do this song and release it with all the proceeds going to your charity." And so that's what we're doing. So the song's called There, and we're going to release it through Blaggers Records and through the trust as well, the PF Trust, and then they get all the proceeds, and hopefully it goes to helping people who are suffering with the illness.
Fantastic. And that's coming out under your own name, right? That's coming out under
Well, that's under the Ben Drake Collective, yeah, because I still had, I've got, it's violin, Liz playing violin, Kieran on drums, James on bass. So we've got the whole collective in.
Fantastic.
So yeah, it's under the collective, but yeah, it's an honour to be involved in doing something.
Brilliant. No, it's really great to be, like you said, supporting those people that support us the most as well. So yeah, it's great to be doing that. Well, good luck with that. We'll look out for that as well. Tell us about FEARISTS. This is new.
I was going to say the FEARISTS come about through lockdown because obviously we couldn't meet up, and the collective was such a big band, and I couldn't utilise everyone, and I just continued writing songs. I had all these things coming together, and I thought, there's just, as you know, if you don't record them while it's hot, you lose it, and they go. And I thought, I've got to get them recorded somehow. And I thought, maybe start a new band, and then it was nice because as I started to go down that route of a different style, I thought, well, this wouldn't suit the collective anyway, and it gave me freedom to explore, as you when you're hearing the song, like it's different sound. It wouldn't suit the collective, and it was nice. It was like a freedom.
Awesome. So how did you go about getting a new band together in lockdown? How did that actually, you know, how did, I have to say, it's a great time to form a new band. How do you actually, I want to say physically do that, but let's say practically do that?
Well, obviously, you know, being a musician in the area, and I just know so many local musicians because we all play together. So you just message someone and say, hey, do you want to do this? And it was a new experience because we was doing it by online, so them sending stems of stuff, and then we'd mix that in, and so the process took a bit longer, but it was different, so it was a lot of fun to do.
Cool. I
Brilliant
love the
stuff.
track,
It's
I
fun.
must say. When I first heard it,
like
it's a great, it's a great wall of sound that comes through in the track, which I really liked.
Yeah. I was trying to nod to the 80s, kind of late 80s, early 90s. Someone said Depeche Mode. I couldn't hear that, but that kind of
Our favorite band
that
in the world.
kind of angle, you know, to try and do something.
Yeah.
That era.
Oh yeah.
You may have just hit a hot spot there, Ben, I think.
You get one of these.
But I mean, you know, it was Daft Punk was in there, you know, with the robotic vocals and things like that. Again, that I couldn't do in the collective; it wouldn't suit it. But that was fun to try that kind of avenue of mixing your vocals a bit differently.
It's nice that you've just, like, thinking coincidentally that we were talking about morning. Brand new morning. I think it was good. Morning, something good. I was going to good morning. Talking to brand new morning earlier on. Similar thing. It's like, you know, I've got work that I'm doing that doesn't fit here, but that doesn't mean that I can't do something with it. Interesting that coincidentally we've had, you know, the two of you on the same show, kind of thinking along similar lines.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think especially in lockdown, you're being so much more creative because there's nothing else to do. So you're just, you know, you've got all this stuff happening, and it's good to get it out there. I think once we open up and everyone comes out and is able to gig again, it's going to be quite interesting to see how much stuff is going to be out there.
Yeah. Do you know what, the other thing, just that process of collaboration as well, because I know that's something obviously through the collective and through the new band as well. That's something you've never shied away from, and I think it's really interesting. Even that you're saying, well, I just reached out to the people that I knew and sort of got them involved in stuff, because it was quite. I think you made. Do you know Max from St. Clair? I think you must know. Do you know Max? Yeah, I was going to say because. It was a little. I thought it was quite interesting. I don't know if you saw a post that was on Facebook that he put out what was intended, I think, as a sort of sarcastic, ironic thing, saying, "I've got a music project thing coming up. I can't tell you much about it. I don't even know what it is really. But would you like to get involved? There's no money in it, and you know, if you kind of want to do something, just let me know." Because he meant it as a sort of ironic gesture along the. You get these things all the time about what the hell is this?
Yeah, I did. I did see that post.
But actually, the lovely thing was, loads of people went, "Yeah, I'd get involved."
Yeah.
And it was like, well, why was you doing that? It's because it's Max, because we know you. It's because if you kind of say, would you like to get involved in something? We're going to go, yeah, we kind of would. And he kind of meant it as a sort of, you know, people say this without really much meat behind it. But if you do actually, if you are someone that you kind of know and trust, you're going to, a lot of people will go, of course, man, I'll help you out. What do you need?
Yeah.
And that was that was lovely to see, actually. Do you know what I mean?
It was, yeah. Talking about Max, he did you see the cover he did of, was it Seven Nation Army? Did you see that?
No,
the White Stripes. And it was,
no.
It's one of them clips, because you get a lot of videos and you watch it and you sort of watching, yeah, it's okay. And I thought, oh, that'd be interesting to see his style doing that music, and it was incredible.
Is this the thing he did for the Orange Tree?
Might have been
a video edit thing.
It might be. He said he started it last year.
Go and check that out.
I will have to check that out.
Yeah, do. Incredible. He's got sax going on and bass playing, drums. Just really, really good.
You remember? We've had St. Clair on the show, Jules. Do you remember? We've had Max on before.
Yeah.
And again, it's that kind of collaboration process, and people who know, and that kind of networking that I know you kind of connect with all the time over in South Africa. And the same thing in this sort of local community. We had Luke James Williams on the show, I think has worked
Big
with.
fan of.
Probably worked with Ben as well, I imagine. But all these people who know each other. Jake Griffiths from the Westview we've had on here as well. He's been working with Max. I'm sure he's worked. Ben. Well, we're talking about having that conversation a year or so ago. Jake was in here doing that as well. So it's great that you build these communities around you and you can be really supportive. It's fantastic.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Love it. Right. Shall we have a listen to
Martin, we're having we've got something like happened to your mic there, Martin, but let's take a listen. Mine's got that weird mic sound again, but here we go. FEARISTS these days on DiscovrTV New Music Mondays.
Big sound. Big sound.
I love the vocal. It's so unusual and different. It's got
Yeah,
like 80s mixed with Daft Punk.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, the start is like almost like The Cure. That was what I was aiming for with that riff.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny because I showed it to a few people before I released it because I wasn't sure, so different to what I normally do. And a lot of people were saying, well, I sort of got half and half. Some people were saying, oh, I love them vocals, fantastic. Other people were going, that doesn't work. And you can't understand what you're saying, which is the reason for the lyric video. Because I thought, well, at least that way you can relate to what I'm saying because you can see the words. Because I think the song's important that you do understand the words because it's about what's going on with everyone at the minute,
True stuff.
Brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And it's very relevant to the situation we're sitting in right now. I think you guys more in the UK than we've had to suffer in South Africa. You guys have been in the longest lockdown now. I mean, it's been since December, hasn't it?
Pretty much. Martin said,
you've been locked up, like literally locked up since December.
Yeah, can't remember what it was like just to be out.
Yeah, no, we've
just
at least
that
been able
idea
to go
of
out and party
when you meet someone and you just go, hey man,
Yeah.
How are you doing? All that kind of weird.
I mean, we still got shows going on to a certain degree. I mean, look, we've lost a lot of our music venues. They're pretty much, there's hardly any left. We've got a show going on every Sunday called To Hell's and Back, where we feature live
name.
bands. And do you like it? From Hell's Kitchen to Hell's and Back.
It's a good name.
So, yeah,
you should say whoever came up with that was a genius.
I know, absolute genius. And if you ever meet him, you'll love him. It's absolute genius.
So you guys are not under lockdown then? You can.
We are. We've been under lockdown level 3 until yesterday. We've now gone to lockdown level 1.
Right.
As of this morning, which means we can have gatherings of 100 people outside. 250 people outside, 100 people inside. But pretty much still, but South Africa, we tend to just do whatever we want. So, it's like, I don't know what it is. It's just like the problem is now, because we're going to lockdown level 1, most of South Africa are going to think it's time to party like it's 1969. And they're going to party like it's 1969. And then in 3 weeks' time, we'll be back at level 3 because nobody listened and nobody wore masks and everybody partied and everybody got coronavirus again. So, yeah, it's going to happen. And we unfortunately are not anywhere near to where you guys are on vaccines. So we're far away from having a proper vaccine rollout. So, yeah, it's going to take us time. But yeah, listen, I mean, at least we're keeping going, trying to keep our industry alive, which has been a lot tougher for you guys in the UK. But hopefully by June the 21st, it can all open up again.
We will see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Well, I'm going to be there hopefully on June 21st. I'm planning on it.
I think, like you say, the problem is people are not going to listen because we're just being cooped up and it's like you can't take much more of it,
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's like, even if you look at the world of football, and everybody knows I'm a big football fan, I just can't watch football without fans.
It's not the same.
Like,
it's
can you
weird,
imagine
isn't it?
when the fans are back? It's going to be chaos. And I mean, it's just
it's that thing. It's when you're out, you're out, aren't you? It's like it's hard to do half measures. To go like, we're only going to go out with a few people, or we're only going to out and have a meal, not a drink, or we're only going to it's really hard to do that sort of halfway in between. You're either if you're out, right?
Look, what does work is curfews. So we've got curfew till midnight now, and I think curfews are a really good idea and should stick around for at least the foreseeable future, because they do prevent people from going too large.
Yeah.
So you're going to go out and have a party, but if you're not home by 12, you're going to get locked up. So it's like, I think curfews can work, and they have worked here locally. A lot of the clubs and pubs. So clubs are still closed, but pubs are open, and you can have live music in the pubs, and people get together and they drink, but they know at a certain time, sorry, you got to leave. 11 o'clock, doors shut, you got to be home by 12. So that should hopefully just keep it a little bit of a lid in it. But yeah, I suppose we just wait and see. We've got to build up our industry again. And but as Martin and I have said in the past, the one thing I have loved about lockdown is the music that's come out. Guys like yourself and other bands that are writing amazing songs in this time that possibly you may not have written if it hadn't have been for lockdown.
True.
I mean,
true.
Maybe a song like These Days wouldn't have come out because you would have been working a lot more with your collective.
Yeah.
You might not have got into this inspirational part, and we might have lost this. So I think that's for me is one good thing that has come out of this. Is the creativity of musicians has been unbelievable, and the amount of music I've discovered in the last year is phenomenal. And it's a year ago today, guys, literally a year ago today that the world started to go into lockdown.
That's crazy. And it's the adaptable, isn't it? We've adapted to these live streams and people.
Yeah, doing this, Martin and I wouldn't have started the show if it hadn't been for the lockdown.
No, this was a lockdown inspiration because
we were bored. Let's do something.
But also I was going to say because there was still so much stuff coming out, like nobody stopped.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and that was the great thing. It was. I think there was an initial very short period when people were kind of thinking, can we release stuff? Shall we release stuff? And then very quickly, I think people said, well, yeah, because.
Let's do it.
We have to, because people want to hear it. So let's get it out there.
Yeah.
And that's been great. So what's the plan? The FEARISTS obviously come out of the lockdown scenario. You've got a track out. Is there a plan for more under that?
Yeah, that's what I was doing yesterday, just working on the track 2. I'm going to do it differently because with the collective, it was, I think we spoke about this before, where I release albums and EPs. I don't really do singles.
Yeah.
And that's not the way to do it. Everyone's into singles, but it's just what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
With the FEARISTS, I think I'm going to go down that route of doing singles, and maybe collaborating. I'd really love to collaborate with quivering lip because I just think them guys are amazing. So I've got in contact with them.
Cool. I think we can sort that out.
Yeah, definitely. So the Theorist is going to run alongside the collective, and I'll do both. So it's going to be exciting.
Massive. Brilliant. Love it. I'm loving that. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome. So thanks so much for joining. I'll try that again. Thanks so much for joining us, Ben. I'm only drinking non-alcoholic beers, I swear. It's non-alcoholic. It's not real alcohol. It's 0. Devil's Peak Hero to 0.
I've got a non-alcoholic tea.
I've got an empty glass of water.
An empty glass of water. Thanks so much for joining us, Ben. Guys,
thanks for having
follow the Fearist on the Fearist Band on all social media, or the Fearist on Instagram. Thanks for joining us.
I was going to say, actually, because I'm rubbish at doing this, but because I've just started the Fearist, the YouTube page has got 2 or 3 subscribers. I'm starting from scratch again. So if you could follow me on YouTube.
Cool. Is it Fearist or the Fearist Band? What's
the Fearist Band, or I mean, it'd be the Fearists, I think.
The Fearists. Yeah. Cool. Check it out on YouTube, guys. Go and subscribe. We'll go and give it a like.
Thank you.
Share it on our social medias. Thanks very much, Ben. Wow, I'm getting my words tongue-tied today. See you later.
I think you should change your name to Jet. See you later, Jet.
My stage name.
Cheers, man. Bye.
See you soon.
I'm getting all tongue-tied tonight. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm hungry.
Could be.
I haven't had dinner yet, and it's already 9:15 in South Africa. I've actually got my dinner in front of me on a plate, and it's all cold now.
Oh, no.
So we need to pop it into the microwave.
Message to any artists watching us in future. Could someone come up with an epic 10-minute track so that we can play it and Julian can eat his dinner whilst we're on?
Yeah, because I only get to have dinner during the show.
Cheers, Ben.
And Hideaway. Cheers, guys. I only get to eat